And then he starts describing some of their technology, which reminds me a little bit of Olaf's accounts. He says that again, they have advanced technology. They had radios. The door was lifting silently upward. I'm like, man, this is like sci-fi TV shows we've been
Yeah.
watching in the last couple of decades.
Yeah.
Then his host is telling him, have no fear. You're about to see the master. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, the master. That you know, we still don't know. And then he said something that honestly I didn't like. He says, we have let you enter here because you're of a noble character and well known on the surface world, Admiral. You are in the domain of Arianni. Okay, Arianni, the inner world of the earth. This is pages 97 and 98. And they're described as blonde people. So blonde people with German accent, Arianni.
Arianni.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it, this is like so much like the German Nazi propaganda that Aryans, people with blue eyes and blonde hair, were superior to others. And this is where, for me, my
No knee-jerk reaction, right?
yes, my reaction and my gut feeling is telling me these are not the same people or not the same entities that Olaf saw, and I don't trust these people based on everything explained so far. I don't like. Why are you blind and speak German, have swastikas, and you're called Ariane? It's like, could it be if they exist that because Hitler and the Germans in the World War I and II, they were like heavily into the occult. Could it be they got some ideas or were in touch with supreme race like this one? But according to this account, Admiral Byrd testifies that these people actually summoned Admiral Byrd to tell him, hey, so far what you had in the war, including the nuclear bomb you dropped on Japan, it's nothing about what is coming. We're summoning you here so you can go back to the leaders of the world and tell them we've been trying to contact you for years and decades, and to tell you to be more peaceful and to stop. So what they think about is, I mean, I know that inevitably someone will say, oh yeah, they're good guys. But I mean, we know, including from the Bible and from the real life experiences, that the Satan or the enemy, we can use any term we want to use, they can come up with all these beautiful things, courtesy, gifts, knowledge, kindness, supposedly empathy for people, until their real side is shown. So even though their agenda is supposedly we want to stop wars and have peace on earth, for some reason I don't trust them, and I don't know if you share the same feeling.
Uh, well, yes and no. But I understand absolutely what you're saying, what you're conveying. They are more ambiguous than the beings in the smoky god, which are clearly benevolent. These seem a little bit more aloof, like, okay, we're gonna give you a pass, we're gonna accompany you, you're gonna meet the master. And that, when I read that, it reminded me of New Age philosophy, where they have ascended masters again, and oftentimes their ascended masters have what? Blonde hair, blue eyes, they look Aryan oftentimes. So I saw some of that stuff in there. Now that doesn't mean, see, all again, when we read stuff like that, we right away have our own lens through which we look at it. Our own lens tells us what? That the swastika is Nazi, that Aryans is Nazi, and that's bad. But don't forget, there's a lot also of newspaper propaganda that we've been submitted to throughout the years and decades that also has skewed our understanding of what really truly happened in World War II. Now, I'm not saying Hitler is a saint, or I'm not saying anything like that, but there are things that we just don't know. So where did the Nazi fascination by not Nazi, but the Aryan fascination by the Nazi, where did that come from? The swastika, why did they adopt that symbol? There's all kinds of conjecture about that. So that doesn't mean that all blue-eyed, blonde-haired beings are wicked, or else we'd have to nuke Sweden, right? So, so the point is, we have to try to look at it from a little more detached perspective than what we're familiar with. when it comes to these symbols, when it comes to people like that, when it comes to Germanic accents and stuff like that. Now we have Klaus Schwab, who has a thick German accent, and right away we think Dr. Evil. So again, there's this, Germans are evil creeping up on our psyche, and it's always there. So, but we have to be careful not to let it skew our analysis when reading a book like, or an account like Admiral Byrd's. In the end, when all is said and done, are they more ambiguous? Yes, they are a little bit more ambiguous. They seem to be a little bit more doing their own thing, kind of like we're letting you in, but we're keeping you on the outside looking in a little bit. It's a little bit more like that, the account with Admiral Byrd. But they're still kind to him, gracious, and they send him on his way out, back safely and everything. So there's that. And Admiral Byrd himself said, there's an interesting quote where he says, let me try to find this here. I thought that was fascinating. He says, what people think about you is not supposed to matter much, so long as you yourself know where the truth lies. But I have found out, as have others who have moved in and out of newspaper headlines, that on occasion it can matter a good deal. For once you enter the world of headlines, you learn there is not one truth, but two. So that's I put that in the first page of the book. The one which you know from the facts, and the one which the public, or at any rate a highly imaginative part of the public, acquires by osmosis. And it's interesting that Byrd included that quote in his narrative of the diary of his encounter with this civilization. I thought it was interesting. It's like he's basically saying, don't believe everything you read in the papers. There's another truth that we're not really acquainted with. And I think he was trying to convey that in when he wrote what happened in his diary.